Hey, you just landed at 5 Lakes Garage, and today we got a new toy in the shop. That's right, it's a Subaru. A giant Lego. Alright, so we got this 2023 Subaru Outback. I keep saying it was a Forester earlier, but it is an Outback, and it's the Wilderness Edition. Now this is my buddy Jerry's, and we're trying to help him out. Now, one of the things he actually is trying to do with this thing is actually take it off-road and actually adventures and all that other good stuff. It is the Wilderness Edition, so it should be out there. So he bought a pile of stuff to actually put on this thing. So what we're gonna actually do today is actually try to protect that CVT transmission. Now, if you have a CVT transmission, just know they like to eat themselves. And we're just going to do everything we can to try to prevent that. So we're putting a giant intercooler, transmission cooler on there. Actually, I believe it's called Pure. I think it's actually a Purin, I think. I don't know. They're not a sponsor, so I didn't really learn about, didn't worry about memorizing their name. So anyway, first thing we have to do is put this aside, because we got a lot of stuff to take off. All right, first thing you want to do, disconnect your battery. You got a lot of airbags in this thing, and you don't want to accidentally hit something, short something, and pop it off inside, because they would be getting expensive. All right, we're just going to jump right in on this thing and show you exactly how we're actually going to get this thing done. And wait, I got to fix my hair. Okay, so all of these pins, this one, this 10 mil, all these little pins are got to come off. Not only that, this guy here probably gonna have to come off, because we're gonna need to get this wire out of here. Now this wire is actually for your camera, which is right down here. We got to make sure that gets disconnected, because all this stuff is coming off. Some people actually put some not package tape, but like painter's tape or something like that around the headlight to keep it from getting scratched. We're not exactly going to be doing that. So you got a couple more over here. Now that's not it, because we have, I mean, a light. There you go, I'm going to show you on this side. So anyway, we have things to take off here. So you need to take off that guy, and that guy. And then that will actually free up this entire fender over here. Now you would think, is that it? No, it's not it, because you got the same thing on the other side, and you also have the same thing underneath. Let's get my creeper and go for a dive. Hey, thanks for watching the show. Hey, if you need some outdoor speakers, indoor speakers, whichever, go ahead over to Handui and go ahead and get you 10% off. But if you need some LED lights for your trucks, your tractors, whatever, go over to Exito and get you 15% off. All the promo codes are down and below. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. And we'll catch you later. Enjoy the show. I got to clean up. Alrighty, now we're underneath the car. Now you also have another pin there, and a pin there, and a pin there. All these pins have to come off in order to get this guy off. Now don't just rip this thing off, because you have fog lights. You got to unplug those. Once this guy comes down, you should be able to reach in there and actually unplug your fog light. And we'll show you that as soon as we get it off. And I got to get off the floor. Really need a lift. Don't have a lift. We're on jack stands. Which really, truly is how most of you are going to be doing it at home. Not everybody has a lift. So anyway, let me grab some tools and let's get this guy off. Alright, unfortunately I can't find the tool I really wanted, but hey, we can improvise. So anyway, you got these little tabs right here. So you're going to take a little piece of plastic and basically go underneath it and pop it up. Now once it's popped up, you got to get it out, but you kind of tug on it, it's not coming out very well. So I just got some angled pliers. I'm going to simulate the tool that I usually carry. I don't have it. I'm going to blame Corbin. Anyway, so once you get it underneath there, you don't want to destroy it, so you just kind of wedge it right out. There you go. And I got one more here. Already got these out, and then we're going to go underneath, and then we should be able to pop this entire thing right off. Alrighty, so this is my first Subaru ever actually working on, and I have to say they love their plastic fasteners, at least on this new stuff. So as you can see, I got it all off, and if you can see in my hand, this is my tool I was looking for. So I finally found it. It was sitting over there on top of underneath some bunch of boxes, and so I guess I can't really blame Corbin, but I would like to. Anyway, there is one other type of fastener The other ones I already kind of showed you how to get those guys off. These ones over here in the rear wells, a little bit different. So we're just going to grab a little Allen wrench, and then we're going to push in the tab. There you go. There you go. And there you go. All right, once those are pushed in, I'm gonna grab my tool because I like this tool so much. And then what we're gonna do is try to do this one hand. All right, once you get underneath it, then you're just gonna pull them right out. All right. All right, we're almost ready to pull this whole front end off. So there's a couple little fasteners here. I went ahead and pulled those off, only so I can get back down here. Now your camera hookup just kind of had that. You just kind of pull that off. Now your connector right here, you just push in your little tab, and then you pull it right out. Just be careful with it. Don't pull it by the wires, because that will be stupid. And then you're fixing that too. So your fog lights are a little bit different, only because you got to reach your hand all the way up in there. So let's go in here. Hey, welcome to my shop here. So I already pulled off the connector, and the other connector I'm gonna do it by feel because I'm just that good. There it is. All right, so this guy, connector right there, pull it right off, and then push this out of the way, and you're ready to pull this thing off. Now go ahead and double check to make sure you have all of your fasteners off, because you don't want to rip this thing off and still have one up there, because then you'll be very unhappy. Now over here on the side, you're gonna get fringed right here. All right, so you have an outside panel right here. You also have an inside panel. You can, that's what you want to grab. So I'm gonna put my fingers on it and then give it a little bit of a tug. There you go. So those are the connections that we're actually trying to break off, not break off, but kind of come off. And then, you know how I said make sure all your fender tabs are off? Yeah, I missed one down here, right down here. I'm gonna take that off and then pull this off. So anyway, so this is your secondary frame. You kind of want to just pull it from the plastic, not by the actual fender or the cosmetic plastic. Oh my gosh, my knee is on fire. Okay. All right, now I think I got all the fasteners. So let's see what we got here. All right, so you just want to kind of pull this out a little bit and pull up on it. Grab a hold of the bottom, and we're gonna pull off one side at a time. All right, so what you're actually trying to do, all those little fender, little tabs that we see on this side, this right here, is actually all underneath here, and that's what you're actually pulling off. So don't be afraid to go ahead and give it a good pull, but don't pull it so much you're gonna rip it all to pieces. It's gonna sound like you're breaking it, but you're not. Just like that. Alrighty, comes off just like that. Now one thing you need to do is actually make sure ahead of time you have a place to put it, because you do not want to scratch it up. In this case, I'm going to use my trash can. There you go. Put it on top of the trash can. It works like a champ. Or you can get some sawhorses or whatever, or maybe even a blanket on the ground. You can flip it upside down just so you don't scratch it. Especially because this isn't mine. But I have to say, so far, Subaru's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is actually pull all this stuff off. So this stuff, very easy to pull off. Yeah, that's really going to help you in a collision. Yeah, okay. A lot of new stuff is like that. Over there in the corner is the stuff I pulled off on my Toyota. And I'm like, why even try to put that stuff up there? All right, so there is the factory transmission line, or transmission cooler. That thing is tiny. So once we get the rest of this stuff off so we can actually get in there, we're going to put the new one on, and then I'll show you exactly what it looks like. All right, got the thing kind of loose. It's kind of dangling, as you can see. So it was just 3 little bolts. You kind of take them out. It is a 12 millimeter, and you just get them all off, get them up out of the way. Those things are on there pretty tight. Now look at the difference between the new hotness and that factory thing. What is that factory thing doing? Not much. This thing here, look how thick that thing, crazy. Anyway, what we need to do now is to fill this guy up with CVT transmission fluid. Make sure you get the right stuff. Make sure it is for Subaru. And once we actually get these filled, we're going to put our little nipples on, and then we'll be able to switch over our our hoses for the new one, and then we'll be able to slip it right back in. Now before we actually do that, we do have to put the brackets on, which I'm going to figure that out and show you here in just 1 second. Yeah, that's a big difference. That's going to work awesome. Then it's painted black so you can't see it. Alright, so we're back, and it is another day. Only because, you know, I probably should have these, but I didn't have them, so I bought some. Anyway, these are the clamps that I was talking about earlier about taking up all your hoses. So I'm going to take the 2 small ones, and we're going to clip this guy off. Alright, so we have the cooler here, and this guy here is just going to go over. As soon as I open it up, there we go. We're going to crimp that guy in, just so we don't make so much of a mess. There you go. So now once you actually take these guys off, some of it's going to leak, but it's not going to be near as bad as when you don't have these guys. Alrighty. So now that we're both nice and comfortable, let's get this guy off without making such a big mess. Alright, so one little trick to get these guys off. Now this thing's probably been on there for a while. This is a 2023, I think. And this thing's been up there. So grab yourself a pair of pliers, put it on there, and just break that seal. There you go. Just work it back and forth, and they should be able to come off a lot easier. There we go. Okay, let's see if I can make a mess. Alrighty. Bam, look at that. No fluid. Who's making a mess now? Not this guy. Oh yeah, I haven't finished yet. Huh? Alright, a little bit did pour out, but hey, I got my clamps. We're in good shape. Now, this thing does have fluid in there. We're going to put that into the new one once we put all of the brackets on. So let's go back and do that. Okay, this is where all the audio left me. Don't have any more, so I'm going to commentate all the way through. So basically what you're trying to do here is put these little O-rings on to make sure that they seal properly. Once those goes on, you need to fill up the cooler. Try to use some of the original stuff as you can, only because it's the right stuff. Fill up the rest of it with some good CVT oil that you picked up. Make sure it goes for Subaru. Yeah, put your finger on it and rock it back and forth. It finally goes in. Don't cross-thread this part. Once you get that on, make sure that both nipples are aimed in the same direction as your factory piece, and it will go in a lot easier. And hopefully you have a really big wrench. Luckily, I had my dad's old stuff. So now we're in the front of the car. We need to get all of the hoses in there, and we really don't want to have any leaks. So go ahead and put your hose on, and then obviously put the clamp on right behind it. Make sure you get both sides, and then once you get all the clamps on, you can remove your pliers. Sorry about the audio. I'm a little annoyed. So I'm going to try voiceover for the first time. Alright. So now I'll clean everything off, because this would be a better way to check for leaks. If it's dirty, it's really hard to check. So once you actually get this in there, it is a little difficult, especially when you don't follow the instructions. Okay, so now I found the instructions online, and there is a piece you need to take off, which is basically that piece. It's got little cutouts for the hoses. Yeah, that was getting in the way, so we get rid of it. Once it's off, then the hose is actually route in there. Go ahead and put the 2 bolts in there to hold it securely, and then route your hoses right through. Now I put a tie wrap up there only to try to get it away from any sharp edges. Just make sure if you do use a tie wrap, do not put it on too tight, because then you kind of restrict the flow. Don't want to do that. All right, next thing you want to do is actually check for leaks. Now, once you actually check it the first time, go up there and start the car and let it run for about 5 to 10 minutes so that everything gets warmed up and all the valves open. Once all the valves open, it should actually run fluid all the way through your new cooler. Now, check for leaks one more time, and then drive it around, bring it back, check for leaks one more time. And once you come out clean, then you should be ready to go. Then all you have to do is put everything back together. we're looking good. So yes, this little bumper right here, it's not really going to do much for your protection, but it does hold the front cover away from it so it doesn't bounce all over the place. Now, putting the front cover on there, it is a lot easier when you have two people, but you can do it by yourself. Just be careful. It is very easy to scratch the paint, scratch the lens, scratch the bumper, and we don't want to do that, especially when it's not our car. So go ahead and snap all the sides are on in the front and the sides, wear wells, everything. Now make sure you have all the fasteners in there. Now I'm not really going to be putting all this back on there because I'm going to have to take it right back off because we have another project right behind this that, well, it's going to come out. Now don't forget to hook up your camera as well as your fog lights. And then once you get all that done, go ahead and reconnect the battery. Remember, we took that off because we didn't want the airbags flying around. So this is basically what's going to come up next, and the reason why I didn't set up the front bumper all the way, because we're going to put a winch on there and a brush guard and everything else. So stay tuned at Five Lakes Garage, and you can see when we put all those in there, and hopefully we have audio. So take it easy, have fun, get out there and get dirty, and get your Subaru back on the road.